I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
I found these characters out on the internet somewhere, and they bring us this message, this idea that life and death are in the mouth. And those are tongues, not cucumbers. So there was a young boy, and he's watching his father, who was a pastor, write the Sunday sermon. And the young boy asked his dad, "How do you know what to say?" And the boy's father replied, "Well, God tells me." And the young boy thinks for a moment. Then he asks, "Then why do you keep crossing stuff out?" Don't we wish it was that easy? Well, I was inspired to write this talk based on this proverb and Mary Vakanapakui's book, Oelo Noeau. And this proverb is an old Hawaiian proverb. And I like this because it opens our awareness to an ancient Hawaiian teaching that is also a biblical and a metaphysical truth. And the proverb for today is "Aia ke ola ke waha, aia ke make I ke waha," which means there is life in the mouth, there is death in the mouth. Metaphysically, this means that our words have the potential, even more than the potential, because that sounds like it's a latent thing. Our words can enliven and our words can destroy. So we have this incredibly powerful tool that we get to choose how to use many, many times a day. And with this tool, we can build up or we can break down. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, I love this, the way that I really think that Jesus had a sense of humor. And anyway, he's addressing these folks in the Sermon on the Mount, and he starts off by saying, "You brood of vipers," right? Which I can only think that's probably not how he said it, you know? It's probably like, "Oh, you brood of vipers, how can you speak good things when you are evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, mouth speaks. The good person brings good things out of treasure, and the evil person brings evil things out of an evil treasure. I tell you, on the day of judgment, you will have to give an account for every careless word you utter. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." Yeah? I like that. But I don't think he's talking about at the end of your life. He's saying that right now, in this moment, you will be judged and enlivened or create death out of what you say. The time of judgment is right now. Our words have an instantaneous effect on our experience of life. And that effect happens right now. I don't think we're going to die and face a God up on a cloud somewhere with a computer that's going to go through everything that we've ever said, for God's sake, and judge us. You know, we get judged. In fact, it's really not even judging isn't a good word, because it's the law of cause and effect. right? If we speak negatively and harshly and condemningly, if that's a word, I like to make stuff up, but we are judged by what we speak and how we speak it and what we say. And I hate to even use the word judge because that implies that there's somebody doing the judging. So actually, there's just an effect from everything that we say and everything that we do. And this isn't a truth that is just known to Hawaiians and just known to Jesus. The Buddha had something to say about it also. In the Sutra of Pata, Buddha said, a person is born with an axe in his mouth. If he whose speech is he whose speech is unwholesome cuts himself with the axe. This showing that Buddhists believe the same thing. And of course, you might know, or maybe you don't know, Unity's roots are in Buddhism and Hinduism and Judaism and Christianity. We pull the truth that we teach from all these different pathways to God. In the Muslim scripture, it says, the messenger of God took hold of his tongue and said, restrain this. Why would he take the tongue and say, restrain it? He's saying, pay attention to what you say. Be careful, be mindful, be heartful. Don't you look forward to the day, and maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's today, when everything you say, you run through your heart first. That's really what I think the teachings that we teach are all about are how can I be more mindful? How can I be more loving? How can I filter the things that I say and that I do through my heart and my mind? I think wisdom is a blend of heart and mind, and ideally we want to run our thoughts through our mindfulness or our wisdom filter before we speak them. Wouldn't that be great? And we all have that capability, of course. Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, wrote, to decree with assurance is to establish and fix an idea in substance. And Charles Fillmore, when he talked about substance, that's the material behind all creation. And when we use our words are things that go out to the universe, and the universe responds to these ideas, which are things, and creates other things, right? So Charles Fillmore is saying, when we speak, we're tapping into this substance from which all things are created. And then he goes on to say, the force behind the decree is invisible, like a promise to be fulfilled in the future. And then I like this part the best. He says, but it binds with its invisible chains the one who makes it. Right? So we are bound to our words by this invisible substance that we are creating with when we speak. So we use our words constantly and continuously, as the Hawaiians say, to build up or to tear down, to create life or to create death. I discovered Unity back in 1991 in this church, Unity Center of Walnut Creek. And one of the first teachings that I heard that knocked my socks off was that words have power. And when I heard the minister say that with our words, I can change my life, something in me went, wow, zingo! That's powerful because, so many of us are taught and brought up to believe that we are helpless and that we don't have any power, right? Or that we're victims of our circumstances. But the truth of it is we are creators. God gives us this energy of life and light and creativity so that we can release that energy into the world and create. Look what we have created. And we, by accessing this truth, have the ability to bring life with our mouths or death with our mouths. We have, you have, I have the choice. So how do we do that? How do we create? What we want to do, first of all, is to remember that we are one with God. That's why I think this teaching of unity is so powerful, because we teach that we are one with this presence. We're not separate from us. The presence of God isn't separate on some cloud looking at us and saying, judging what we're doing. But this presence is within us. It is that creative fire. It is that desire for life. It's that ability. It's what draws us with passion to the things that we want to do and create. And we get to choose. How tuned in am I to this ability and this desire to want to create in my life? And going back to the words that we speak, this is where we really want to pay attention to what we say. When we say things like, "Oh, I feel so sick," or "I am so tired," or "I am so exhausted," or "I just feel so unpowerful. I feel worthless." Ever said anything like that? And when we, nobody, right? And so we want to start catching ourselves when we say things like this, because what we do is we diminish, or we turn off the volume that listens to that presence of God within us when we use sentences like this that deny the possibility and the presence of the truth. And we want to focus our attention on saying things like, "I am healthy, I am wise, I am passionate, I am loving, I am powerful, I am expressing my truth." Can you feel the difference? Yeah, can you feel the difference in what that feels like in the presence of God? Doesn't it go, yes, within you? And when I heard that I can choose with my words to create a powerful life, part of me went, wow, yeah, I know that's true. Don't you know it? Don't you know it's true? Yes? Of course it is. The next thing that we can do is to remember that everyone is an expression of God. Oh, shoot. I thought it was just me. But everyone is an expression of God. There was, I was in Walmart. Was I in Walmart? Yeah, I was in Walmart a couple of years ago, before the hurricane scare that we had here. Any of you remember that? And it was my first experience with anything like that. And so I did what thousands of other people did and went to Walmart, and I got my cart and I'm rushing around, and I'm like in this panic, and I'm looking for batteries, and I'm looking for water, and it's all gone. And so I'm buying a bunch of canned stuff, and I'm filling my cart up, and I'm like banging into everybody. It was like crazy in there. And I'm like, oh my God, who are all these crazy people in here running around and bang, 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 bang. Oh, get out of my way. What are you doing? And then all of a sudden, I had this realization that everybody was probably feeling what I was feeling. And certainly I was viewing them through my panicky eyes. And I had the thought, all these people are expressions of God. They're all perfect expressions of God. And in the meantime, I'm like trying to get out of there. I like had enough. All of the lines were full. So interesting, though. As soon as I took a deep breath and really looked around, changed my perspective, started seeing people as beings of light. A cashier says, "Sir, can I help you over here?" Brought me to the front. And when we change our perspective, we change the way we see the world. When we start to see the world with the eyes of love, seeing the world and everyone as the truth, that they are perfect expressions of God, we change our experience, and I know we change theirs. And I believe that's why we're here on this planet right now, is to be this change and to be the presence of God, regardless of whatever else is going on, to change the perspective. When you're watching CNN or MSNBC or Fox or whatever it is, change your perspective. Don't buy in to all of that. Change the way you see it. When enough of us change the way we see it, that which we see will change. And the most powerful thing that we can do to change our own perspective is to spend time in meditation. It's really a necessity. I can't tell you enough how important it is to spend a minute, if that's all you have a day, in the quiet and to listen and just to be in the silence, because you're building your consciousness. You're building your ability to pay attention to what is the truth for you. What is it that this presence of God within you wants you to know? One of the most powerful techniques that I like to do is to ask a question. What do I need to know? How do I need to be? So I've got this difficult situation. I've got this difficult person, we'll say, in my life, and I'm not sure how to deal with this person. And in meditation, I'll ask, what do I need to know? Even hold that person with me. What do I need to know to be present for this relationship, for this person? So often it's just to love. Be present. Be there. Love them. Often they are our greatest teachers. Have you ever noticed? Isn't it great? You know, because I think, and that's good, if we can start looking at our opportunities for healing as just that, because we know we attract people into our lives based upon our consciousness, so that we can change our experience and change our lives, yeah? And so the more we rise up in consciousness, then we keep attracting people to us. We like to think, you know, I'm going to get to the point where nobody bothers me anymore. Yeah? That's right. And then if that doesn't happen, we get a little PO'd at God, right? Because you told me that if I did this, then I wouldn't have any problems with my relationships. Who the heck are you anyway? Well, I would never talk to God that way. But everything is an opportunity. If we can just embrace everything as an opportunity to grow spiritually, to be more present. And there's a great process that I like a lot, and we're going to practice it today. You can today if you would like to. And it's called NLP, or Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And it's a way of actually changing the way that our brains work. It's actually a way of changing our communication. It's about changing the way that we think so that we can experience life in a fuller way. Anybody experienced NLP before? Great. Okay, so I hope that you'll be receptive. So what we're going to do is I'll lead a short meditation then to help to identify something to work on, and then we'll do a short NLP exercise. So I invite you to take a breath. To breathe in. to let go of all of these words. Just be present to the presence that you are. And see yourself as a perfect expression of light, of truth. Knowing that you are filled with the light of God, the light of Spirit. That you are one with all creation. Manifested and come into this plane. You have come into this plane of existence to be a powerful teacher. You've come here as an expression of the light. And as a way of perfecting this light presence, you can open yourself to attracting more light by letting go of that which doesn't serve you. And in a moment, I'll ask you to come up with a predominant negative thought that you have. And you need not be afraid that thinking this thought is going to attract more of the same. But this is merely an awareness. And you might discover this by looking at some things that you might say to yourself. Like, I'm sick and I'll never get well. You might say, I don't have any friends and nobody likes me. You might say, I am not capable. I always screw up. You might say, I worry all the time and I can't sleep at night. Or there's so much to worry about. Or I am restless. I am not a true expression of spirit. And in the same way, let those ideas be set aside. And then, what is the truth? Consider a statement like, I am healthy. I'm getting healthier every day. I am a powerful expression of love. I am capable of doing whatever I want. I sleep deeply and restfully every night. I am a powerful expression of God's love. I am having a fantastic day, and I feel great. And let these words of truth, or whatever it is that whatever positive statement you have come up with, see this statement filled with the energy of life. Feel the power of truth in it. Feel the wisdom. Feel the possibility. Feel the essence. Feel the energy. Imagine that this energy fills your mind and your body and your spirit. And this energy literally springs and jumps from you out into the world. Goes before you and around you and after you. Breathing in and breathing out. I invite you to bring your awareness back to this moment. To become aware of your body and the light in this room. Knowing that this room is filled with healing love. This is a safe place. That you are one with this community of caring individuals, of sources of light, expressions of truth. You are safe and worthy. And I invite you to open your eyes. And take a deep breath, and when you have gathered your strength, I invite you to stand. Breathing in. So now we're going to do an exercise with the things that we just came up with. And so I want you to have in your mind a negative statement that you sometimes say. And so we'll call upon that statement. And when you think that statement, I want you to look down. Think that statement, and then look up, take a breath, and say, stop, stop, stop. Yeah? And then you're going to look up and smile. And then say, I feel great. Yeah? Okay, so are you ready? Kind of give it a little shake here. Let's do this. Make this as powerful. Let's experience this. You will have a change today, I promise you. So I invite you to close your eyes, to look down, to think this negative thought just once. And then look up, open your eyes, and say, stop, stop, stop. And then look up and smile and breathe. Take a deep breath and say, I feel great. I want you to look at the person next to you and tell them, I feel great. And look at somebody else. I feel great. And look at somebody else. I feel great. Your words have the power to build up or to destroy. Listen to your hearts and use your words carefully. Namaste.
Where